I'm on track to be a millionaire soon, and I will have hundreds of millions of dollars in my lifetime. And I want to share with you 17 things that I wish I would have known that would have made me a millionaire faster. Number 1, skill acquisition is king before everything. If you talk to any wealthy person, if you follow Hormozi, if you follow Nisha, if you follow Humphrey, if you follow Sarah Blakely, if you follow Cody Sanchez, any rich person, they will tell you you need to acquire a skill. Even Warren Buffett. What skill did he acquire? The ability to understand the stock market and to pick the right investments. And he only picked that. He doesn't invest in real estate. He doesn't go do all these random things. He learned the skills required to get good at something that would make him a lot of money. And so the more skills that you learn, have you heard this? Learn before you earn, you will be more equipped to be able to make more money, to make the connections, to be able to have multiple skills to get it done, right? Sales is a skill. Communication is a skill. Emotional intelligence is a skill. Being able to market, being able to sell, being able to understand psychology and what people want. All of these things, copywriting, skills. Number 2, education first. Learn before you earn. Now, this doesn't mean you have to go become a doctor and you have to spend 4, 8, 12 plus years going to get your education and going to residency and doing all the steps. You can, and that could make you $500,000 a year or certain salaries like that. But if you want to get wealthy, you have to learn first. You have to educate yourself. You have to first educate yourself on yourself. Who are you? What do you want? What do you care about? What do you need? Who do you want to help? Who do you want to serve? What problems do you want to solve in this world? Because that is where the money is. And that's where fulfillment is as well. I talk about Ikigai on this channel, about finding what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. And if you find the intersection of those things, then you're going to be happy and rich, which is what I want for you. But you got to start learning. You have to educate yourself on how the world works, how people work, what people actually pay for. Get out of your little town. I know I grew up in a small town, loved it, great people, but the world is so vast and so big. There's a lot of industries and a lot more to it than just your local community. Learn before you earn. Action is the way. If you want to become successful at anything, or if you want to achieve a goal or make a lot of money, you have to take action. And you can't be scared to be a beginner. Too many people are inside of their heads. I know this. I've been there. I'm a big thinker, a big analyzer. But you can't paralyze yourself into not acting, into not doing the work. Because if you just sat there and you're trying to get fit and you learn about how to do a squat, you learn how to do a push-up, you learn about the different machinery at the gym so you don't have to just walk in and you're not sure what the heck to do. That's great and all. Maybe do a preview, do a little preparation. Preparation is important. But at the end of the day, you're not going to get fitter unless you start taking action. And you know what? You're probably going to mess it up. You're probably going to walk in and feel nervous and feel scared and feel insecure, especially if you have a lot of weight to lose or you don't have any muscle or if you've never done it before. It's new. It's normal to feel that way. You have to feel those feelings and keep going. And the fastest way to learn, like we talked about, we need to do, is to take action. Because once you go to the gym and maybe you ask someone for help, or maybe you notice that you need to do it differently. Or I know I go to Planet Fitness and you can scan a QR code and it shows you a video of actually how to do it. And so just go get started, dive into the water, dive in, and you will learn a lot just by taking action. I wanted to share too something important with action, being bold, taking risks. A lot of people who are wealthy, they were not afraid to take a risk. They might have been afraid, but they had courage because they felt the fear and they did it anyways. If you're willing to take a risk, if you're willing to try, if you're willing to put yourself out there, ask the person out, right? Like if my husband had never pursued me, we probably wouldn't be together because he wouldn't have put himself out there and we wouldn't have been able to connect, right? And so what you want is on the other side of taking action and getting through the fear, getting through the doubts, getting through the preparation and the analyzing. At some point, you just have to go for it. Another key component is to increase your EQ and your mental and emotional toughness. Tom Bilyeu, who's the founder of Quest Nutrition, a billion-dollar company, he gave like 5 or 6 things that he recommended for you to learn if you want to become a millionaire. And I completely agree. And even Richard Branson, who is a billionaire as well, they talk about emotional intelligence. I'm a huge fan of this. I've been so passionate about it. I studied psychology, human development, sociology, and I just was always a student of myself, learning about myself, learning about other people, why people acted nuts, why people threw fits and tantrums or got angry, or why they got sad and stressed, or why I got sad and stressed or felt the feelings that I felt, or like, what the heck is that, right? And so I'm like a student of learning about other people to interact with them, but then of interacting with myself and saying, hey, I don't want to show up like that. I don't want to feel sad. I don't want to feel crazy. I don't want to feel that. And so you can learn about yourself, gain that self-awareness to understand, oh, I'm feeling this emotion. Oh, I noticed that. Oh, why am I feeling that? When am I feeling that? Interesting. It's information. Emotions are signals. They're information and indicators. It's key. If you actually look at it, it can tell you what to either keep doing or what to avoid or what you need to work on. So that is key. And then even the social side. So emotional intelligence isn't just understanding yourself and not just being able to manage your emotions, because that's key too, right? I can feel angry. Oh, I'm angry. That doesn't mean I just go, and throw a fit and punch and hit and scream. Like, that's not helpful either. I don't want to do that either. But then you can learn how to regulate. Oh, I'm feeling angry. What can I do? What can I take out of my toolbox that's healthy? Because if you're trying to build a business, if you're trying to build wealth, if you're trying to serve people, create a product, create a service, it's not going to be easy. You're going to feel emotions. You're going to feel self-doubt. You're going to feel sad and annoyed and stressed and frustrated. Even just as a human being, you're going to experience that. So the better you are at handling that, the more things you can do, the more you can do. If you can't handle some little scuffle between a coworker at work or with your family, if you can't handle something like that, or like one little thing going wrong, or like I spilled tea all over myself the other day, if I make that a big deal, do you think I could actually like run a company or make $1 million? Maybe, but if you get worked up about the little things, you won't have energy for the big things. So I could talk about this all day. I can talk, and I definitely will be doing more videos on handling your emotions, emotional regulation. And it's also about the social side, being able to connect with other people, your customers, your friends, your business partners, whoever. You gotta have this EQ. And the stronger EQ you have, research has shown, the more successful you will be, the richer you will be, and the happier you will be. Learn that EQ. Number 5, always think value first and solve problems. So when I graduated high school, or even before then, right, you're thinking, ooh, what do I want to do? Or even I asked some of my students, hey, what do you want to do when you grow up? Like, who knows what they want to do? They don't know. Or what are they thinking? Maybe they do know, but do they really know? You know? And so it's important to think about this value. Like, what does the world pay you for? The world pays for value, right? You've seen people who come in, they solve problems, or they're just fit and they take care of themselves and they're mentally and emotionally healthy and they're just rock stars and killing it. You trust them. You want to work with them. People who have created value and make money, you want to learn from them, right? And so you want to be that type of person. You want to be a value first person. That's all sales is. That's all making money is providing value. I always thought it was a horrible, weird thing. I always thought it was not good and like, stay away. But it's not true. Sales is just providing a solution. Or products like books, it's entertainment, or it's knowledge. That is providing a solution. Beauty things, makeup, acne treatments, that is all providing a solution to the problem of not wanting to have acne or to wanting to be prettier or present yourself in a certain way. movies, sports, entertainment. That's a way to entertain, music to help us feel better and enjoy life and things like that. It's all value. So if you can think, how can I be a person of value? How can I provide value? What do people want? What problems are around? I know Sarah Blakely, the billionaire founder of Spanx, she says she has this inventor mind, and because she is an inventor, but she's also a problem person, where she'll go, like, I wonder why the fork has 4 prongs instead of 3 or 5, or, like, this is kind of a little bit off. Like, I wonder if we could change this. Or the male undershirt has never been changed in 50, 60, 70, 80 years. Like looking for how can we make things better? What are the issues people are experiencing? And sometimes you can even just look, what problems do you have? Or your friends or people in your life, your family? And then that can give you a key indicator on what to maybe work on. Serve with intention. Service with intention. So what do I mean by this? So we want to provide value, but we're also serving. We're serving customers. We're serving people. I've always been someone who cares about people. My parents are incredible, and they always taught me to do this, to put people first, to care about them, to give to them, to be kind to them, to be generous, to support them. And we did a lot of volunteer work growing up. And I started like a kids program at a local food bank when I was in high school, and the kids would come when they would go get food with their families. They would get to go do something fun. Instead of waiting for their families, they would get to go play games, and we'd have different educational activities and snacks and food and fun things for them. Or volunteering. I did work in college at a local trailer park, and we did tutoring and had a tutoring program after school and had dinners for them and got to mentor them and like just spend time with them and things like that. We did all sorts of things and food drives and whatever. Like, that's service, that's giving. Or even a mother giving to your child, helping them, right? And picking up trash. We would go pick up trash. That's great. But if you want to make money, I'm not saying just throw all that out the door, because remember, service and value, that is helping people. But we want to think service. How can we serve with solving problems and solutions, and who can we help? And honestly, if you can help more people and solve those problems for them, you're going to have more money to give back to a charity. You're going to have more money to donate to a nonprofit. You're going to have more money to go buy a bunch of food for the local food bank or support the people who are doing that. And so it's just important to know, like, money is the tool, and you want to provide value, you want to solve problems, and you want to serve. But let's expand and think of the industries that have all this money and that have all this opportunity where you can get the money from and then distribute it out to all the people and the projects and the things that you really care about. Number 7, if you want to get richer faster, you have to ask better questions. And so this is something that I'm continuously working on. You want to be curious. You want to learn, right? You always want to ask questions. That's a great way to start. But you also need to ask good questions, because if you don't ask the right questions, you're not going to get the answers you want. So you really have to get conscious and start thinking about, when you're even talking to someone, what would a good question be? Like, if I could talk to Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, what would a question be, or multiple questions, that would provide value back to me and knowledge that could help me in my own life to create more value for other people in whatever goals I'm wanting? If I don't even care about that and I'm just like, Sarah, like, what's your favorite color? Ooh, like, that's fine. Or she has a ton of interviews and sometimes the same answers happen, which is normal, but it's like, I did my homework, research, know what questions she's already answered. Like, yeah, I do want to learn about her backstory. Or she talks a lot about how wasn't scared of failure, and her dad, who was a lawyer, actually told her and encouraged her brother Ford and her to fail. And was like, yes, you didn't make the cheer team. High five. Great job. What did you learn? Right? But I've heard that. So asking a different question. So your questions really matter. Even your kids, if you just ask like, hey, how was school? They're just like, oh, it's fine. Or like, maybe they'll tell you something. But if you don't ask the right questions, like there's maybe a specific question. Hey, how's that person that you've been like struggling with? How's that been going? Okay. And then you can continue on with different questions. But anyways, that's just a little insight I should have probably planned a few questions, but just think on your own, like what questions could help me reach my goals? What questions could help me provide more value to more people? What questions would create unlocks to new levels and new opportunities and new levels of expansion that I want to get to? I know this because even if you're watching this, right? Like I watched so many videos on how to become a millionaire or how to invest or financial education. But if I'm just listening to investing in the stock market, that can help me a lot. That's going to make me a millionaire. But what if I want to do more than that? What if I wanted to start a business? What if I wanted to have $10 million or $50 million or $100 million? That is part of the equation investing is. And I have a whole book on it, an ebook. If you're interested, let me know. It's jam-packed and has so much information, and not just about investing, but if you're looking to get started, it has everything. Like it's everything I wish I would have known. I'm always like researching everything. And so I just put it all in there. But you're missing something if you only look at that. If you only look at that, like, okay, I'm following their path for 1 million, but I wanted 10 or 50, you're going to have to do different things or add, like invest, and then you're going to have to start a business. Then you're going to have to do this to get to where you want to get to. So that's why questions are powerful, and being careful which roadmap you're following. Determine who you want to be like and surround yourself with them. Now, if you're like, Elizabeth, I want to be a billionaire, or I want to be this super healthy, fit person, and you're like, I don't know any of those people, or I don't know them in my life, that's okay. Guess what? We have the internet. We have that. And so social media, once I learned during COVID, I just started going on social media for learning and education and being motivated and encouraged and inspired in all the areas of my life, with finances, with health, with inner peace, with anything. That was the true unlock. So use social media to learn and to get better. Use social media for that, and it will truly unlock so many doors for you. Going along with this, if you want to achieve a goal, you have to ask the right person. You have to follow the right person or people. So if you want to achieve a goal, you want to look at someone or find a mentor who has done it or who is on the path. A lot of people are going to give you advice. A lot of people are. And people close to you are going to give you advice. And it doesn't make them mean they're bad or that they don't know anything. But if they don't have the life you want, why would you take advice from them? I know I did this so much. It's like, I love them and they're awesome. But with certain goals, I would ask them or I would talk to them about it. It's like, they don't know, or they just know for them. Or if it's your family, they want you to be safe. They want you to be okay. And a lot of times to get to where you want to get to, you have to take risks, or you have to do different things, or they're seeing life through their lens. Like, oh, well, I would never do this. Or, well, I really wanted this in my life. I valued this. It's like, well, I don't want to just do that. I would be miserable, or that's okay, but I kind of want this too. And so ask the people, or go follow those people that have done what you want. That is a game changer. It's so simple, but like, it's hard because most of the time we ask our family and friends, and just go ask the people who've done it. Number 9, successful people are just people. I love this. Alex and Layla Hormozi was funny. Layla was talking that she and Alex had been to a conference, and like at the conference or wherever they were, this guy got up and was like, yeah, we made $80 million. And her and Alex were like, that guy? Like, listening to him talk, I don't know if he had a bad day, I don't know if something went on, but he just wasn't super impressive, and like the way he carried himself and how he talked. And they're like, gosh, like, I feel like we're more capable than him, and we're not making anywhere near that amount of money. And so he clearly had a different skill, but that's where you learn. Like, people are just people, and they learn certain skills. They have certain habits. They make certain choices. They work on their mindset. And that's why I talk about it on my channel, but they're just people. And so you can achieve anything you want if you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to learn the right mindset shifts, if you're willing to handle your emotions, if you're willing to change your habits and make new choices, if you're willing to be surrounded by mentors and the people who have done it or the people who are doing it so they can help support you and you can support each other. But it all comes down to that we're just people. And so if you just look back and pull back the curtain, I know a lot of people do this when they're like in a job and they like are climbing the ladder, and then they realize the top executives, like some of them are really great A players and super smart, etc. And others, it's like, how the heck did you get here? It's like, okay, I can get there too. Why not you? Why not me? Stop being scared to fail. Failure is the path to success. Failure is the path to success. So if you're trying to achieve a goal, anyone who's successful, even Michael Jordan said this. I don't know the exact quote off the top of my head, but it was like, I've taken 20 shots in my life, which is more than that, but 20 championship shots, and I failed and I missed, and I was trusted to take this and trusted to do this, and I failed and I failed. I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Because if you fail, even Noah Kagan had the book, that $1 Million Weekend, he talks about going out and setting rejection goals, seeing how many times you can get rejected for a sale or trying to sell something. Because the more you put yourself out there, the more you try, that's how you get good. That's how you learn. That's how you get better. You also increase your odds of something working out in your favor. And so too many people are scared to start. I see it even in the middle school. You see that in kids, like kids try to take a shot and someone's like, you suck, you're awful. But if they let themselves stay in that and go, yeah, I do suck, like I shouldn't try, or that was so embarrassing, I never want them to say that again, that was horrible, I feel awful, oh my gosh, these feelings, they're going to hold themselves back. You're going to hold yourself back. You have to be willing to look stupid. You have to be willing to mess up. You have to be willing to be a beginner. You have to be willing to go be trusted to take the game-winning shot, and maybe you do miss. And that comes with consequences. But if you don't give yourself or put yourself in a situation where there is great reward, there might be great risk, but you'll never get that reward because you're too scared. And is that really what you want to do with your life? Or you really want to sit around scared with all that potential in you and all that capability, and you watch all these people living dream lives? What is that dream life you watch other people do, or living on Instagram? Who do you follow and you wish you had that life or something like it? That could be you. It could be you. Number 11, success takes time. Expand your time horizon. And so I think Jeff Bezos said this. He talks about people, or someone did, I might be misquoting, but regardless, people underestimate what they can do in 10 years, but they overestimate what you can do in one. Like, I learned a lot, even posting to YouTube for 1 year. I learned a lot, but hopefully by year 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I'm going to be in a lot different place, right? I'm going to show up better. The videos are going to constantly get better. I'm going to have more knowledge. I'm going to be able to share, and maybe it's just going to get better, hopefully, right? And so stop like rushing your goals. You can achieve a lot in a year, so don't underestimate the year. But if you give yourself more time, you're more likely to achieve something. It doesn't mean like, let me just take my time and I have all this time, I can take my time. You want to take deliberate action, be quick with your action, but be patient in getting there. So like, I'm taking my diligent action, I'm showing up, I'm doing my YouTube videos, etc. But I'm going to wait for things to compound and for myself to get better and for everything to kind of roll down that hill and take place. It's the flywheel working. Number 12, get in the right industries, find the right opportunity. So you have to get in the right boat. I think Warren Buffett talked about this as well, that some of his fellow graduates and colleagues, they're so smart and we're so capable. He's like, honestly, they were probably more smart than me, but they chose a different opportunity in a different field. And so they were capped at a certain amount of money. And so I'm not saying you have to go be a billionaire or optimize for the greatest market, but knowing who you are can really help. Even me, like I love teaching, writing, learning, sharing, encouraging, inspiring, motivating, talking, connecting. And so social media and being online makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense for like, hey, I want to write. Hey, I love writing books. Hey, I like sharing encouraging messages. Hey, I like talking on videos. I like teaching. I like sharing. Like all that stuff, encouraging people along the way. And so that makes sense. And there is opportunity there, right? Because we do have the internet now. But you have to know what works for you. And that's why I want people to learn more about the industries and learn about what's out there. It's not just your small town. There might be bigger industries within your small town, like healthcare or technology, like some of these things, or gasoline. Exxon Mobil is like the number 11 company in the S&P 500, the top performing 500 companies in the United States. ExxonMobil, the gas company. So thinking about these larger businesses and opportunities to get into can make a difference. Really, really can. Number 13, shake more hands. Get connected with more people. Do you have to go up and shake everybody's hands? Learn a good handshake. That's good to know. But shake more hands. Get to know more people. Put yourself out there. Who knows you? So get to know other people, but also have them get to know you. Put yourself out there. And so the more likely you put yourself in situations where you can get to know people, you can support them, you can provide value to them, you're going to be able to make more money because you're connecting with more people. There's even the law of affection in the Millionaire Fast Lane, which is a great book. I highly recommend it. I'm going to be doing some book review videos and key lessons from books. If you think that's helpful, let me know below, but I really feel called to do that, because books have helped me a lot and are helping me a lot. But it talks about affecting more people. If you can affect more people, like a professional athlete, like the industry is a huge industry, the entertainment and the sports industry, $1 billion, right? Billions. The owners of these teams make billions of dollars. The players like Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs makes like 45, 50 million for his contract. Travis Kelce, 15 to 20 million. And then, hundreds of millions based on some other things they're doing off of the field and advertising and stuff. But like, they're entertaining a lot of people. They're helping them feel better, right? They're solving that problem. They're fulfilling a desire, a want, a need. And then they're being able to affect millions. So they're going to make more, because also they're making more people more money, billions of dollars. So something to think about. I don't know if you've seen this video. I follow the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't watch much TV, like at all. I watch YouTube if I watch anything. But I did follow the Kansas City Chiefs a little bit this year. And Travis Kelce, like, you watch him one time, like sometimes he like motivates people, right? And there's this video clip. He's just like, more. And he's like, have a man of so many words, I'm just so motivating out there. And he's just like, more, let's more. So, and I know their season didn't end super great with the Super Bowl this year, but it was interesting. More. Hormozy says this too. You got to do more. He talks about classically where he was going to advertise, and they were like, you should advertise. And he's like, okay. And he puts out 350, flyers. And then he's like, it didn't work. No one came to me. Told his mentor that. He's like, how many did you do? And he's like, 300 something. He's like, the guy laughed. He's like, we did 5,000 as a test, and then we put this many out. He's like, oh, okay. Or even with content, like if you just do one video and then like 5 months later you try another one, like, I don't know, maybe that works for you, but the more you do something, the more you write. If you're a writer, the more you try anything, or go to the gym, the more you do it, the more you eat healthy meals, the better you'll get and the more likely you'll get to your results. So do more reps, put more time in. That's how you're going to improve and get better. Number 15, millionaires are relentless with their time. They know the value of their time. Dan Martell has this book, Buy Back Your Time. Because we all have the same amount of time in a day, right? They wake up early, a lot of them, or they stay up later, or they do both. They know the value of it and they outsource things. They also know they're not going to live here forever. The amount of successful people that openly talk about their death and their mortality is huge. I'm going to do a video on that as well. And like thinking about my death every day has been so helpful and critical. But you just have a different relationship with time, and you use your time differently. So block out your schedule. Know what you want. Your calendar shows what you care about. Your calendar can determine, like if I was coaching someone, I could look at their calendar and see, or look at my own. What do you value? Okay, I can see what you value. You're spending time with your kids, or you're spending time with your business, or you're spending time at the gym. Okay, you value your health, you value your family, you value your projects and who you want to serve. Great. Like, where you spend your money and your time are key. Use it wisely. You are the ultimate asset. You want to invest in assets, right? And so a lot of people I wouldn't say make the mistake, because if you like your job and you just want to invest in the stock market, like I recommend that. That's a great way to become a millionaire. I know so many people who love their jobs and they're investing in the stock market, or they want to learn about it because they know that will make them a multimillionaire. They'll be able to retire. They could even maybe retire early if they put enough money in, and they could keep doing their job and they're good and they're making their money work or whatever. So that's great. I highly recommend that. But know that you're the ultimate asset. So like, even with that, if you like your job, you probably had to learn a skill or invest time and money into that, right? And so you had to learn that. You are your ultimate asset. You getting the knowledge, you getting the skills, you doing the work, you taking care of yourself. The more you can invest in yourself and then go do something with what you've invested in yourself, the more likely you will be to be successful. You have to create your own luck. I'm going to do a whole video on the unfair advantage and how successful people become successful and what they do when they learn about their unfair advantages and they use them. And literally having a lot of money can be an unfair advantage, but also being poor could be, and having no money. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned for that. But you have to create your own luck. The more things you do, the more actions you take, the more people you connect with, the more you go, hey, I have a jet company like Jesse Itzler, or I'm starting a jet company. How can I find customers? Oh yeah, I live in a small town. Let me just stay in my small town. I'm definitely going to find someone who can pay for this jet card. Like, that's crazy. Just sitting there thinking it's going to happen. So Jesse had to go to a specific hotel or go to a TEDx conference where a lot of really wealthy and successful people were. And then he had to create his own luck. And so you have to do that. You have to put yourself out there. You have to do that. You have to be persistent. You have to create products. You have to create services. You have to create yourself. And then you have to go put yourself in these situations. Even Sarah Blakely, calling people and not just sitting around and thinking someone's going to come find her invention. She had to make it happen. She had to go put herself out there. She had to go create the luck. Or even she was talking to the buyer who gave her a 15-minute opportunity, and she flew all the way there to go talk to her for 10-15 minutes, and she could tell she wasn't buying into the product. And she, even though like Spanx is $1 billion, was sold for over $1 billion, so it was clearly great, but she wasn't getting it. And Sarah's like, can you come to the bathroom with me? And this lady's like, okay. And like, what the heck? And so she did. And then Sarah showed her when she put Spanx on, what a difference it made for her, and that you couldn't see like the panty lines and whatever, and she could wear white pants, etc. And the buyer was like, I get it. It's brilliant. We'll put it in 6 stores or whatever. And then the rest was history. Or she sent Oprah Winfrey a gift basket, and Oprah decided to make it a product of the week and advertise it. Free advertising back in that day too. That was huge. And so I've learned that from my mentors, is creating your own luck and putting yourself in situations to get lucky. It's the same thing like you're dating. If you just sit there and admire someone from afar, how the heck are you going to actually get to know them or potentially have a date with them? Yeah, they could say no, or they could not like you, but what if they do? My husband loves saying this. I'm like, well, what if this happens? And what if that happens? And oh gosh. And like the what if, like the worries. It's like, well, what if it works out? What if they do say yes? What if that doesn't happen? Stop thinking of these hypotheticals. Like, what if it works out? So put yourself in those situations. Create your own luck. Luck is involved, and there's a whole thing on luck. I could talk about it, like how to create it. There's multiple kinds of luck, which is interesting. So use it. I hope this video was helpful. Those are 17 lessons on what I wish I would have known to be a millionaire faster. If you like this video, feel free to check out this video on 15 tips on what successful people do.